Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, That Model Railway Guy, and welcome to another video review. Yes, I hadn't done one of these in a while, and I also haven't done a Bachmann review in ages either, so as you can see today, I thought we'd take a quick look at the Bachmann Midland 1F. Now, this isn't a brand new model by any means, it was released back in 2014, and it has to be said it is a fairly simple model. However, they have been on sale recently, so I thought I'd take a look at it to help you decide whether it's worth picking one of these up. So, taking a look at the detail first, obviously the livery is fairly simple on this model. It's in the BR plain black and, well, that's fairly self-explanatory, isn't it? It does, however, have a really lovely early British Railways emblem on the side of the tank, as you can see here, which is printed really well indeed. Also, on the side of the cab, you can see we have the locomotive number, as well as a builder's plate just underneath, which is a little difficult to read as it's so small, but hopefully you can see it much better in the close-up than I can here. There's also a tiny little 1F marking just up here as well, which is so small I missed it initially, but it's great that they've included that as well. The front of the loco looks really nice as well. As you can see, we have the number plate and the shed code on the front of the smoke box, as well as handrails and lots of rivet detail as well. We also do have sprung buffers on this loco, which isn't always a given with Bachmann models, so it's nice to see them here. Moving on to the top of the model, you can see that we have separately fitted safety valves and whistle, and both of these appear to be made out of metal, which is fantastic. I also really like the silver effect on this instead of the usual brass. I'm assuming that's prototypical, but it's a little bit different to usual, and I quite like that. Speaking of separately fitted parts, around the other side of the model we also have lots of very finely detailed pipework, which you'd think would be very delicate and flimsy, but actually it stands up to general handling fairly well, as long as you're not too clumsy with it. It has to be said though that the cab interior is where this loco really shines. It's a little bit difficult to see on this model as the cab is enclosed, but there's also an open cab version of this model too, where you can clearly see the interior, and because of that the cab detail had to be up to scratch. Luckily, Bachmann have done a really good job here, as you can hopefully see on the close-up now, and it's great to have it all included on the enclosed cab variant too. The back is pretty standard, much like the rest of the loco, but we do have nice coal rails with a coal load included, and nice spectacle plates on the windows too. All in all, this loco is very simple and basic, which is true to the prototype, but Bachmann have pulled it off really well in my opinion, and it's a great little loco that I'm sure will look right at home on many people's layouts. Moving on from the detail though, how well does this loco run? Well, as you can see, it's already set up on the rolling road, so let's give it a go. And as I turn up the power now, you can see it doesn't really do a crawl, but it just sort of starts at a slow running speed. That said, as the speed increases, it is a nice smooth runner, although I will say that it's not the quietest loco in my collection. I don't know how well you can hear that or if it's being picked up on the microphone, but it is a bit louder than all the other locos I've reviewed so far, which were pretty much silent. But I have to say, the 1F doesn't sound unhealthy in any way, it's just that the mechanism isn't as quiet as most modern locos. Running it in reverse now, and you'll see we get pretty much the same results with the crawl, or the lack of crawl rather. But again, running at more moderate speeds, the loco is absolutely fine and would have no trouble hauling a rake of wagons or whatever you want to put behind it. It's really only the inconsistency of the crawl that lets it down really, and I say inconsistent because when filming this from the other angle, which you can see now, I actually did manage to get the 1F to do a slightly slower crawl, albeit a much more jerky and hesitant crawl than we've come to expect. And before anyone says it, yes, this loco has been running for plenty of time in each direction, so it's nothing to do with that. But generally, aside from that minor niggle, the performance of this model is pretty good and will serve most people's purposes. So I think that's enough of it on the rolling road. Let's get it down onto Pickwick Yard and do some shunting, shall we? So, the Midland 1F isn't the flashiest model by any means, but it certainly looks the part here in Pickwick Yard. Like I said earlier, it's not the quietest loco in the world, but remember this is a model from 6 years ago now, and generally mechanisms seem to have improved a lot in the last few years, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's why it's a little bit louder than most, and also why it can't really do slow speeds. I don't think the lack of crawl is terrible, and as you can see it's having no trouble here with the wagons on my shunting layout, but if you do want really fine control over your locos, then this might be something to consider. I do think though we have to take into account just how much this loco cost, since the retail price for this model was £99 £15, which when you think about it is the same as a Hornby Peckett, and you get a much bigger loco for your money here. Not only that, but a lot of places have the last few of these on sale for around £75 to £80, which all in all makes this a great bargain in my opinion. I know it's not the most exciting loco in the world, but that's kind of why I like it. It's a charming little workhorse that fits right in on my layout, and if you're in need of a small little tank engine, well, I think it's definitely one to consider. Anyway, that's going to be it for this review, so thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos from me in the future, then please do subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notifications. Believe me, it really does help the channel out. Let me know down in the comments too what you think of Bachmann's Midland 1F. Do you have one? Would you like one? What do you think of it in general? In the meantime though, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!